Oh yeah. This is the best thing, yeah.
Hey everybody, if you're tuning in, do mind Yusuf's background noise. Uh, we're gonna be starting in a few moments. We're gonna give people a couple minutes to tune in. Then we should be good to go.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find what is this? What is your live? I think it's gonna take a few minutes for it to
Yeah, there's
show
some
up.
issue with Facebook too. When I logged in today, they were saying there was some issue with Facebook that the stream would show up,
Yeah,
but they're having some issues.
stupid Facebook. And we use Facebook. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Let me share it. Then let me share it on my, let's see, on my page. And let's see if we can share in a group. Then we'll start because today's subject is going to be, we'll try to finish it as usual within 30 minutes, but I'm going to share some resources because when it comes to the factors, there are like more than 200 factors.
No, sir.
Yeah. So, all right,
Yeah,
let's see.
I just shared it as well.
You did awesomeness. There you go.
All right, ready?
All right, let's do this.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Imran Nanlawala. I'm here with Yusuf Chowdhury, and we're going to be continuing with our series, SEO The Series. And today, we're going to be continuing with part 5, which is what are the Google factors. Last week we discussed what are the 4 essential SEO principles. So this series is entirely about search engine optimization. Before that, we had a series on WordPress, and before that, we had a series on digital marketing. So this is just the latest in the in our multiple series that we do. And after we conclude this series, we'll move on to the next one. So today, Yusuf, we're continuing our talk on SEO, and we're talking about the Google factors.
Making funny faces.
So what is meant by the Google factors when we're talking about search engine optimization?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, technologically, program-wise, and the way how Google is built, in order for your website to rank on the first page of Google or to get the targeted traffic to your particular website, there are 200 factors or more than 200 factors that helps the site to rank or to get the traffic. Okay. You will find many articles that because Google did mention 200 and plus, but they did not say exactly what are those. They only talked about some of the on-page, the backend stuff that we talked about. They talked about that, but the other factors that is outside the website, they did not give too much detail. But through research and tests and whatnot, most of the ethical SEO content out there will tell you exactly what are those, because based on the test and what's working, what's not working, we can tell you exactly what are those, right? So there's so many articles out there. If you just do a search for, Google SEO factors 2020, you will find a lot of articles. Some of them will say 20, some of them will say 17, some of them will say like 200, like Backlinko talked about the 200, but most of the stuff is not even actually accurate. So you have to be very careful, right? So today I'm going to share some of them, okay, not all the 200. That's going to take us probably a couple of episodes to cover. I will just mention some of them. Then what I'm going to do in the comment section, I will share 3 resources that talks about the ranking factors. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand that some of the factors, if you understand the concept, Google basically look for the website visitors' behavior on your website. They look into that kind of stuff, like how many minutes they're spending, what are they navigating, are they having good experience? So that can be a factor. Okay, that's why user experience, and I believe Imran, you specialize in that area as well. User experience is very important when it comes to building a site. Okay. And also, this is where the ADA, the American with Disability Act, also kind of fall under the same user behavior on your website. Okay. Number 2, how many quality links pointing back to your website? Because even in the terms of building a link to your website, not all links are equal. There's such thing called quality link, crappy link, spam link, toxic links, right? But how many quality, relevant, niche-based, information-wise, or links from high-ranking pages that are pointing to your website. That is a factor. So the more high-quality backlink you have, the better the ranking for your website. Okay, that's number two. Number three, how trustworthy how trustworthy are these links that is pointing back at you? Are these relevant website, established website? Are they themselves ranking? Do they have good content? Do consumers and audiences enjoy, reading those websites or visiting those websites? Are those websites spam or non-spam? So that's what I mean by trustworthy links that is pointing back to your site.
Can you give us some general examples of non-genuine websites that point back to your website, or how people manufacture these scenarios where they have like fake websites or spammy websites or paid to point back to my websites?
Absolutely. I mean, you can use softwares, or you can do it by yourself by creating like a fake blogger links, or Tumblr or a WordPress.com, and just then what do you call it? Create crappy pages with
Right.
a bunch of content that means nothing, or just copy and paste content from somewhere else and put a link back to the site. Or you have sites that has a bunch of links and nothing else,
Hmm.
or indecent website, like porn sites or spam sites, what I mean, pointing it back at your website. Those are like risky, not trustworthy. Or a brand new website that doesn't have the HTTPS, doesn't have a footer with disclaimer, um, terms of service, privacy policy, or a website that looks shady, like there's no contact information, there's no information about the owner of the business, so these are considered non-trustworthy. A trustworthy website has all the security options, plus has tons of valuable, awesome, impactful, highly valuable content, plus they have their social media properties. That means if I go to the social media channels, I can see who they are, how they're engaging, how they are consistently are active with the audience, and so forth. University sites are trustworthy, government sites are trustworthy. Site that has a lot of traffic, a lot of backlinks, a lot of activities, those that can be considered trustworthy websites.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was, thank you for the question. That's awesome. That's a very good question. Number four, how many social media mentions your brand have? Like if you're a business and people are talking about you, mentioning your name, mentioning your brand, that is a signal. Okay. And number five, how relevant is your pages? Like if you do a commercial real estate in Chicago, how that particular page about the commercial real estate is relevant to that area. Does it address the information? Does it give the solutions and the answers to the audience in that particular area? Does it address every needs and pinpoints and challenges? Make sense? And how relevant it is, that content itself on that particular page. Number six, how old is your website? So the older the site, that can also help with ranking, just like in real life. If you have an old burger joint for like 25 years and you just open your new burger on the corner, the old restaurant is still gonna be busy. You know what I mean? Just like in real life, right? What else? Seven, how fast is your website loading? So you gotta make sure the website is very fast on the mobile devices, on the desktop, on the laptop. That's why you have to use services like GT Metrics, or what is it called? The Google Speed page test. Make sure that the ranking is above 85%. And when it comes to GT Metrics, make sure that your ranking or the score is A+, or A+, B+, but nothing below that. Okay? So that's number seven. Let's see. Number eight, how many direct website visit do you get? What does that mean? This is mostly from analytics. So when people go to Google, do they type the name of your website? So that's called direct traffic. Or when they open the browser, instead of going to Google, they're actually typing your domain name. Okay, that's called direct website visit. So the more you have, the better the signal. How many click does the site gets when they find it on Google? How many times they spend on the website? If they spend more than 2 minutes, that's a good sign. That's a good factor. Okay. The bounce rate. If the bounce rate is too high, like above 60% or 70%, right, that could be a problem. But if you look at other metrics, for example, even if the bounce rate is high, but for every visit, for every website visitor, they check 2 to 3 pages, then you're fine. But if nobody checks any pages, just the first page and the bounce, that's a bad sign. And that can actually lower the ranking of your site. Okay. 12, I'm sorry, 13, the number and the quality of the backlink that you're getting. I talked just a few minutes ago about the quality of the links. So the more quality backlink you have, the better. Okay. 14, you need to make sure that you have the HTTPS on the domain. Okay. And 15, you got to make sure that every single page has a relevant content that address the information to the audience and what is it about, so the search engine can understand it. Okay. 16, the keyword usage. If you are selling cupcakes, but you don't mention cooking the cup, right? If you're selling cupcakes and you don't talk about the cupcakes, then how the bot want to index and understand that? Okay. The font size. The font size doesn't matter too much, but it really helps with the user experience. You know what I mean?
What about when it comes to the ADA?
ADA and also on the font, because if the text is so small, or if the color is like gray, I can even see it. That's not a good user experience. You know what I mean? Number of the images on the website matters too. So if you have too many images and less content, that's not good. In order for the bot to basically index every single page, my personal recommendation is that you need to have a content that's more than 300 words. So the more you have, the better. Why? Think about it this way. If you have a paragraph that only talks about cupcake, right? But if you have 1,000 words that talks about cupcakes and ice creams and cakes and sweets and other stuff, that means there's more material for the Google bots to basically index it on the server, right? So when the customers search for those terminologies, then of course you're going to show up. Does that make sense? Concept? Because for some reason, I don't know why some businesses don't get this idea, and they get frustrated when I tell them, yeah, the more content you have, the better the discoverability, the better for the bot to index everything. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure that you don't have too many images and less content. So there has to be balance. You have images, but you also have content with those images, right? And of course, the last but not least is the social media activities. Those are actually signal too. So the more conversation takes place about your website, about your brand, the search engine will actually pay attention to that. Okay. Now, what I would do right now, I'm going to share this 3 links, and you can put it in the chat system if you want.
Sure.
To the audience. So this one here from SEMrush, they have like a PDF file that talks about all the factors. Search metrics also talks about some of the factors. I think the last link got messed up. Let me fix that. That's going to be Moz. About it too. There you go. Then search metrics. So at least 3 resources should be enough, because like I said, you will find a lot of articles out there that will say, all the 200, but in reality, probably like 20 that we specifically know, and rest of them are based on basically tests and what worked, what and what not. I believe Backlinko, he basically put like some of the most popular 200 factors that helps with the ranking. You're more than welcome to check it out. Let me see if I can find it.
And I mean, again, we're specifically talking about all these things are pertinent when it comes to ranking on Google, correct?
Yeah.
Now, I know for certain things like publishing content and making sure that you get mentioned on social media, my question is not going to relate to those. But as we always discuss and as you always mention, there's a plugin for everything. So are there plugins that will help an individual rank better on Google?
Excellent question. The answer is no. There's no plugin anywhere on the internet that can help you to rank. Why is that? Because you have to do the optimization manually. So let's say if you build the website on WordPress, right? You can use Yoast plugin, you can use Rank Math plugin, but these plugins are for non-coders. Because you're not a coder, it helps you to basically set up the title tag, the meta tag, the schema tag, the alternative text and whatnot. So you can do certain things using the plugin, but you still have to do the work. Make sense? So the plugin automatically not going to help you rank. There's no plugin exists, because for two reasons. First, Google's not going to allow it. If you're using like some sort of automation to do like some sort of manipulation on the back end, it's not going to work, right? And secondly, you have to manually create the title pages, the title tag, and especially, let's say, take the Chicago real estate, commercial real estate. You have to write a content that addresses your local audience, and plus the keyword is there, right? There is no software will automatically put the keyword for you. Even if it did, it's going to be like humanly unreadable. You know what I mean? So that's why there is no plugin that helps with ranking. I mean, there's a plugin that can help you only to do the on-page SEO, not the off-page. For the off-page, you still have to do work. Just like social media, you have to put out content, right? There is no software. I mean, the only software that can help you pull content, which is the post planner for Facebook and Twitter, but what it does, it basically pulls popular content based on a niche, and that's about it. But you still have to schedule it manually. It's not automatic, right? So for the off-page SEO, you have to do link building analysis, content distribution. You got to take your blog and convert it into an infographic website, submit to infographic sites. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's so many work done within the off-page SEO to help you with the ranking, because links is part of the SEO ranking factor, right? So the more high quality link you have that is pointing back to the website, you will get a boost. Make sense? So that's why when Google said that, there's more than 200 factors, they're not telling us all of it, but the links that I sent you, okay, I actually give you 4 links. If you can post it in the comment section for the audience to see. So there's one from SEMrush, Searchmetrics, Moz, and the last one is called, Backlinko. So Backlinko, he basically added, according to his test, according to his understanding, he put all the 200 factors. Some of them really is not I don't consider a fact. Like, for example, using AMP, which stands for Accelerated Mobile Page. I really don't think there's a factor in that. We tested it. We didn't see any difference with our clients. But maybe he tested it, maybe he worked for him. Make sense? So that's why I recommend the first 3 links. Those are very good, because they only talk about 10, 20, 17 top factors that you need to focus on, because those are the very basic one, instead of also 200, because some of them will basically go over your heads and it's going to confuse you. You know what I mean? But regardless, have the audience go through these links and go through these points. And if they have any question about addressing all the 200 factors, then we can definitely have a session to talk about it.
Cool. So it seems like there's a lot of correlation even between the Google factors in general, how SEO helps your website rank, in the sense that even if it was not Google specific, it seems like the same things matter, right? Publishing enough content.
Yes.
Like you said, repurposing content, making sure other creators and other sites are referring back to your content and back to your website, creating all those effective backlinks and whatnot. So it seems very similar.
Yeah. So that's why the factors are internal, which is on page, but a lot of it also off page.
Right.
The backlink, the quality of the link, where they're coming from. Like, for example, some of our clients get toxic links that we have to download them and submit to Google for the indexing, because we did not do them manually. So the spam sites saw these high-ranking clients' website, and they took their link and put it to theirs to get their ranking. So we had to always, on a monthly basis, do full analysis on a monthly basis, based on the work we have done, and anything that's hit is just like a cleanup. Like, we do the spam cleanup. You know what I mean? So if there are some links that we did not create it, or we did not ask them to link back to us, we have to ask Google to remove it, because it has a red flag. It could be low quality. So we need to ask them to remove it from the Google itself. So it's not gonna point back to our website, and this will help the site to rank go above more, right? So again, I think in the on-page and off-page, I don't know if we covered some of the tips, some of the strategies that we use when it comes to off-page SEO. I see Charles and Abel tune in. What is Charles saying? How can I get backlinks? Okay, excellent question, Charles. There are many ways. I see this one. That question actually. Do we have a subject on that question? Let me see, because I think we have a topic on that question. Let me look at the notes.
Part 12, we have what is the best link building strategy.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Charles. I'm gonna have to cover that on part 12 because it's huge. I can give you 50 ways of doing backlink. Like for example, let's say you wrote an article at your local university site. So let's say you're a community college or a local university. Sometimes they take guest posting from former students, right? If you want to do that, if they accept it, now you put an article, and now from that article, there's an information, and they're reading the content, and they click on that particular keyword, and that points back to your website. That's a backlink. Okay, so that's just one way. Or you can take one of your blog and convert it into an infographic and submit it to infographic website, so other bloggers can embed on their website. And in the bottom of the infographic, it has your website information. If you click on it, go back to your website. Having your website on all the social media platforms, under the profile section, that's another backlink from those social channels, right? So in part 12, I will talk about maybe 30 to 50 ways of building links, because right now link building process, even though it's still valid and important, but it's more challenging because Google is getting smarter, so they're trying to make sure that the quality link that you're getting are relevant, high quality. Sometimes we can even contact webmasters from other sites if they accept content, like content submission specifically for those websites. You can communicate with them manually and ask them, and they can take the guest post and link back to your website. Government sites, university sites, nonprofit. Like if you want to help a nonprofit, and at the bottom, built by, let's say, Charles, that's a backlink. Or the nonprofit wrote an article thanking you for helping them with the nonprofit. There you go. You're getting a backlink to the website. Press release get you backlink too. You know what I mean? So we will definitely cover that on part 12, because right now we're on part 5.
So just to give everybody another breakdown of the schedule, next week is going to be part 6, which is going to be what is a keyword.
Yep.
So Charles, you're going to have to come back every week, my friend.
Right.
We're expecting you front and center.
Yes, sir.
So we got 10 more weeks left, ladies and gentlemen. 10 more weeks left. So please do ask your questions in the comments, or send them directly to our Facebook Messenger, or leave us a message, or visit our website. Whatever will help. But definitely feel free to ask your questions in the comments so we can get to them during one of our lives.
Yeah, and don't forget to check out those 3 links that I sent to Imran.
They're in the comments.
Yeah, because it goes through, like for example, if I go to search metrics and even Moz, so let's see, ranking factor, and of course, since Google update the algorithm, so the ranking factor changes a little bit. Makes sense? So the search metrics and the SEMrush have a PDF file, but I think Moz, let's see, Moz basically they put the whole content in the whole page, just right there. Domain link level, page level, keyword and content-based features. What else? So they're basically giving you percentage and quality of the. They've only put 9 factors. Okay, so check these out. Okay, check it out and let us know if you have any question. If there are things that doesn't make any sense from these resources that we shared with you, because again, this subject will require more than 30 minutes. If you really want me to go through every single factor, it might take us 2 hours to cover. So if y'all interested, let Imran and myself know, so we can do part 2 just on the subject of Google factors, so we can talk about each individual factors and what it means. Okay, if y'all are interested, let us know, so we can have part 16 of that subject.
So I think everybody, that's a wrap for today. So we'll see you guys again next Thursday at 10 p.m. Central, which is our new preferred and preferable time.
Yep.
So thank you, Yusuf, for being accommodating, and we'll see everybody next week.
You're welcome. See everybody.
Bye, guys.